I really do have tombstone contacts, to be honest. Like it's an old man or old lady, which means you on thin ice with me. You at the end of your life on my phone. Now, if I change it to a tombstone, that means you dead. So I got a cemetery in my phone. So yeah, there is that.
Do you want to go to the beach?
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of Beachside Talks. I'm your host, Tunes, with a very special guest today.
Abby,
Good, Abby. How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good. You just got off of work.
Dead.
Tell the people what you do for a living.
I'm a care coordinator at Summit Community Care. I basically help people who have like intellectual disabilities and just disabilities in general, like get stuff paid for, like ramps, get home modifications, all types of stuff like that.
So, how did you find yourself doing this?
Really, I started off nursing, but then I changed my major. So once I got out of UCA, because I got a degree in addiction studies,
Mm.
so I just started job hunting after that, and I started doing a lot of behavioral health, and a lot of that really contributed to me getting the job I got. So
From nursing to this,
yeah,
it ain't that big of a step different, but I feel like this is more, I want to say, intimate
yeah,
because you handle them outside of the everyday. All right, I'm just taking care of you. I
yeah.
gotta actually see what you want and need to
Mhm.
benefit you, even if you don't know you need that, right?
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so what's been the hardest part about going from college to working life for you?
For the most part, just adjusting to everyday life and still trying to have a social life, still trying to make sure you taking care of all 50 people on your caseload, still trying to make sure you maintain fitness, still trying to maintain family, like just balancing all that in general can be difficult. Plus grad school is a whole nother topic. So
Are you in grad school? I didn't know that. Congratulations.
social work, thank you.
I'm proud of you. But I see you be getting in the gym too.
Yeah.
So what got you started with that?
I started getting fat. And then my auntie had coming on my Facebook status and was saying congratulations. I said, "No, I gotta get in the gym. I can't. I can't."
And she said, "Congratulations." She thought you had a little Abby in there.
And it's over with. So I said, "Something gotta change. I gotta lose my good some."
Well, I ain't gonna shout out to Auntie, but you be in the gym. I see the results, and
You see me,
little tone up, tone up.
little son.
If I know two people working out, it's you and your friend Jay. So
Yeah,
yeah,
love her real bad.
me too.
Get fit with JG. Shout out to her. Tap in with her.
Well, anyway, all right. So where you from?
I'm from Mariana, Arkansas.
All right, Mariana, small town.
Hmm.
What was it like growing up there?
Man, I mean, it wasn't too much to do, to be honest. We had Memorial Weekend every year. That's about the most exciting thing we do every year. Go to school, go home. That's pretty much it. Like it was only like 3 to 4 thousand of us. So I mean, if you saw anybody, it was gonna be on one of the four sides. But see them at school.
What's the four sides?
North End, West Side, South Point, and East Side.
Oh, so north, south, east. Now I feel dumb. I kind of should have knew that. Shit.
Ish.
Yeah, shit. All right. So Mariana, Conway. Now you stay in. I really thought you said Little Rock.
Good.
I was in Little Rock. Can you see? I'm like, I gotta come here. Yeah,
Oops.
it's cool. So what you like about compared to the other places you stayed?
It's really reserved. Like, and a lot of the alumni from UCA live in this area. So like I can just go to the store and see a lot of people I met at UCA. So that's a good thing. It's not overpopulated. Um, I just be chilling. Like people mind their business. They look at you, say how you doing, and go on about their business. And I like that.
Okay, I like that. Cause you're one of the sweetest people I know. I tell you that
Thank
all the
you,
time. Like
Kobe.
you're really a sweet person.
I
What
mean,
made
thank you, too. I'm gonna call you Tunes on your show.
what made you like that?
Um, really just how I was raised. Like my mama always said, do not let evil turn you evil. So I always kept it in the back of my mind. Don't do nobody how they do you. Um, just try to do what's right, cause I mean you're not gonna get no blessings like that. That's how I was raised, and that's just how I live the rest of my life.
You say they're not turning when evil turn you evil, but I feel like that's hard.
It can be. It's a mind thing. Like I mean, you just gotta acknowledge people for what they are. If that's how you move, cool. I mean, you can get angry. It's okay to be angry and stuff like that, but letting it consume you as a person, then that's gonna bother you and you. I mean, your character and all that's gonna be ruined. So don't even. I mean, take it how you want, but don't take it seriously and don't take it that deep. So
Have you always been like that, or you pretty recently got to that level of nirvana for yourself? Like, you know what? Forget about it.
yeah, it took me a while to get like this because I was a hothead real bad. But after a while, I was just like, none of this really matters. Like, this my world, this my life. You don't have to exist in my life. I got upset per usual, like anybody else. But after a while, I just be like, now what? Like, you gonna be mad forever? So once I start thinking like that, and it just happened naturally out of nowhere. So once I start thinking like that, I get mad at best, sometimes if even. And shoot, I just go on with my life and just love on the people who love me.
Loving on the people who love on you. So, who are
Mm.
some of those people?
I got a whole bucket full. Let me see. Kia, Kayla, MK. Um, it's just so many people. Chloe, I love Chloe real bad too. It's just so many people. Don't put me on the spot, but I love all y'all real bad.
You funny, whatever. But okay, you have all these people, and people see you as nice and friendly. So how do you discern between intentions amongst folks? You know, a lot of time people see your kindness
Yeah,
and take it for greatness. I know you said not taking it personal and stuff,
yeah.
but how do you set those boundaries for yourself not to allow people to do that?
Really, once you experience so much, you just see the signs. So I just let everything play out. Time reveals all things. So I just be myself. First red flag, I'm gone. Like it's 7 billion people on this earth. If that's how you act, that's how you move, fine. But you're not gonna be in my world with it. So I just remove myself. Don't cause no scene. Don't start no problems. I just get you gone.
So you be having funerals for people.
Yep. I really do have tombstone contacts, to be honest. Like it's an old man or old lady, which means you on thin ice with me. You at the end of your life on my phone. Now, if I change it to a tombstone, that means you dead. So I got a cemetery in my phone. So yeah, there is that.
How many tombstone contacts do you think you got?
I don't know. Let me look.
Man, you don't.
It ain't too many.
Nah, there's a lot of funerals, man.
I'm sorry
I
for
ain't even
them.
got that many funerals. You
They did it to themselves.
do you block people?
Nah, I'm too old.
But you'll put this tombstone.
At least I know you dead. I ain't got to text back. I just know you dead.
All right, what's the logic behind it? Because I feel like blocking somebody would be easier.
I mean, you just gonna talk to yourself. You know what you did wrong. And like, what if it's an emergency or something? I don't know.
If you dead to me, you ain't got no emergency to be able to call my phone. Once you dead to me, your number's
Touche,
blocked.
but still on the same token, I don't know. What if you dying and you just want to call me? That'll be a lot on my hands, but
You
still,
ain't gonna answer. It's a tombstone.
you right. Well, I'm sorry to him. Just don't make it to the tombstone.
All right,
Oops.
who's the last person? What was the last situation that made it to the tombstone? No names, just
Oh,
situation.
for sure. I don't play baby daddies. I don't play all that. So, it's just, but, oops, but it's just different standards for different people. Um, I was fooling with somebody, and shoot, apparently I had a child on the way, and I mean, I respected it. I said, congratulations. You know, no bad blood, but you in the grave, like
So he didn't do nothing but just had a baby on the way?
Yeah. That's just my romantic standard. I don't do baby daddies.
Why not? How many of your friends are single moms?
Dude, to be honest, technically, like friend wise, I don't think none of them single moms, I guess.
Okay.
But
I was gonna try to use some logic, but
Nana.
okay.
But
Alright, so
it's just the standard for me because I had went through that previous situation with a baby daddy, baby mama ghetto drama. So I don't deal with it.
what are some more of your no-nos when it comes to dating somebody?
Um, Nonchalant, like non-romantic, and really narcissistic. Like I can read through that quick. So the constant back and forth and blaming me for it, don't do it. Don't deal with it. Lacks accountability is a no-no for me. That's basically off the top of my head what I can think of. I don't. I mean, I'm very lenient for the most part. I think at least.
I ain't never dated you, so I'm gonna take your word for it. But if you are this, you're smart, got a good career going,
Mhm.
understanding.
Mhm.
Why are you single?
I mean, to be honest, I only have 24 hours in a day. Like I said, I got all this stuff to do. One, um, I'ma just wait on it to come to me. Um, and a lot of times people don't like they'll tell me straight up. Like I respect the honesty. They just not ready for the person that I am that I have to offer. So I respect it, but time restraints and people not being ready.
Time restraints and people not being ready.
And
It's very mature of you to be understanding.
yeah,
So do you get your lick back?
no, I really don't. I should, but I don't.
Why don't
Cause I don't like karma. I don't like bad karma. Let me say that. I need all my blessings. Can't do it.
you? Yeah, I know karma ain't real, right?
That's another story for another day. But I ain't gonna hold you. I done did some low down stuff when I was a high and boy,
It came back to
hard.
maybe that was karma, maybe that was just,
There was some
it happens. It happens.
boy.
All right. Let's talk about you.
hmm
What's something you feel like people don't know about you that they should?
Um, about me, I don't know. Like I know, like I said, I'm in grad school and I'm doing like therapy ish right now. But I think most of the time people misconstrue like the conversations we had with therapy. So like when people talk to me, they look at me as a great friend, this, that, and the third. But it's really crazy how it correlates to therapy. And a lot of people don't even realize that it is therapy. So, without obviously without me getting paid and all that type of stuff, but just different stuff like that. I feel like I'm actually pretty equipped with the tools to actually talk to people when they want to talk, of course. So,
So do you find yourself when you having conversations with people psychoanalyzing them on accident because you're just
yeah,
like, oh, my bad, I ain't supposed to do that. Let me catch it.
yeah, that was a toxic trait, and I learned how to separate my home life from
Work life.
yeah, my work life. Like once I clock out, I deal with what I deal with at home. Like if you want to talk as a friend, we can, you know, without judgment either way. But I mean, I don't be trying to diagnose nobody or nothing like that.
I find I used to find myself doing it like because I love psychiatry. I ain't majoring in it. I just like studying.
Yeah.
Though I asked you for a book, I really like. So I found myself a lot of times talking to somebody, listening. I'm like,
Mm.
this sounds like this. I
Yeah.
wonder if I talk about this, would they react like that?
Yeah.
But I had to learn how to stop because people call you a narcissist for doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, no, I'm just,
I know it
I see
all.
the signs.
Yeah.
So, can you tell us about a time where that happened to you, where you were just chilling with your friends? They talking to you, talk to a significant other, and you offended them by giving them a unwarranted therapy talk.
Yeah. I've had a situation before where it was just like a relationship issue, and me kind of being the overprotective friend, or just something like that. I'll call him a narcissist, or I'll be like he's deflecting, or just something like that. And I gotta take off my therapist hat and just be a friend and be a listening ear. So instead of just saying he's this, he's that, he's deflecting, he's trying to manipulate you, this, that, and the third. It was some offense to it. I apologize, but I need to, even now, like I can have some difficulty with it, but just learning whether to be the shoulder to lean on or listening ear rather than to just sit and respond.
Do you feel like you being a therapist affects your relationship a whole lot?
Yeah and no. Like I feel like it strengthens my relationships because I know, well, I'm not gonna say I know why, but like the environmental factors and stuff like that, I know why they act the way they do. But on a personal level, it's like it's nothing I can do to change it. That's your behavior. You don't see nothing wrong with it. I'ma remove myself. That's it. Like, so it's like a give or take type of situation.
Mhm. How would you describe your attachment style?
I'm the
Because
dip.
the more you talk,
What do you
it
think?
doesn't sound. It sounds like you kind of avoidant.
I was so like, I think I'm an avoidant
Yeah.
type. Yeah. Cause I just try not to even get into, and before it even get to any other points, I just remove myself. Like I really don't have time, physically and literally. Like I don't have time to deal with anything that can disrupt anything I got going on.
Yes, you should be. Yes, you should be. So, do you find yourself looking at the state of mental health across Black people in general?
I do, I do. I think it should be addressed more, especially in like early on, like early childhood and families. A lot of times, people just get a whooping, go on about your business, but like it be so much deeper, especially in schools, like in these
Mm,
schools, it's a mess. I just think it should be more therapeutic techniques. I'll say that in kids for sure because they don't be knowing how to handle their emotions. They go home, get a whooping, that's it. So
I used to work at a school, and it's why a lot of kids like me because hey, you're not gonna get your if you don't want to learn this, you ain't got to.
yeah,
But at least tell me your problem so we can go through your problem. And a lot of kids like, wow, I didn't have it.
yeah,
So I'll be looking at why is mental health such a taboo topic in our communities? So
hmm,
kids they hear about it but they still don't know what it is. Why do you
yeah.
think it's such a taboo thing?
It's basically how we were all raised up. I'm not even gonna say all, but majority of the time it'd be like the meme on Facebook. My mom depressed, depressed them dishes. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just not taking it serious as it is in other cultures. And I think that's really the main problem. Like you go to your parents, say you depressed, you don't even know what depression is. You sad because of this, you sad because of that, and they pinpoint it for you. You don't even have enough time to articulate or think about why you're actually sad.
Yeah.
And that's really the major problem. Like it's not taking it serious as it should be, to be honest.
Mhm. I be thinking about it because I know a couple kids that committed suicide. And I'm
Hmm.
like, I don't feel like our mental health is this bad growing up. So
Hmm.
what is a major shift now? We have more information on it. Why does it seem like things are getting worse for us?
Back in the day, we didn't have all them phones, tablets, iPhones, this and the third. Nowadays, it's TikTok. They don't go outside and have a lot of social interaction. And the social interaction that they do have, they go to school, and of course, it's bullies, and so the only real type of peer interaction they'll have is with bullies or the select few friends they do have. So I think it's more so if they didn't really have like the community involvement like we had growing up,
Hmm.
and pretty much just being on social media and seeing all this stuff at that age. they can't really comprehend it as well as we can. So, and plus they ain't have like, what's it called? The village. That's the word. The village.
Oh, okay.
That's what it is. That's all I'm looking for.
Good, good. All right. And you from Mariana? You said that earlier.
Yeah.
Do you feel, and you have a country tag, and I love it because I'm from the country too, so I
Hmm.
get to hear it. But do you feel like some people professionally look at you a certain way because of the way you talk?
Honestly, no, because well, in the field I'm in, like you gotta have like cultural competency. So
Mm.
like you gotta understand that people look different, act different, talk different, all that. And if you have cultural bias, you don't need to be in the field. And I think that's just like a code of ethics all across the board. So I'd hope not, but I know people probably be like, she ain't from her. She can't be from her.
But usually don't judge you. You know, when I came to college, motherfuckers assumed I was from Africa.
That's crazy.
Because I'm black, being outside and hipping too.
Yeah.
Probably don't get, yeah, so I know a lot of cultural biases. So I was just wondering how that benefits you so far, if it did. So I'm glad to hear it ain't.
Mm.
Right. So you have 50 caseloads right now, you said.
Yeah.
How do you go about prioritizing those? I know they may all get the same priority, but you
Mhm.
know some cases are more extreme than others. So how
Mhm.
do you go about that?
So basically, I've been there long enough to know like who's gonna answer the phone, who's not. So obviously, I call them all the time, check in on them regularly. But like, it's certain cases where it's like more prevalent than the others. Like they need this, that, or the third. Have more incidents. You know, I check in on them probably 2, 3 times a month rather than doing the average once a month. Um, or of course, like I feel like I've built enough rapport with them to the point where they'll call me and be like, "Look, I need this." So it's either they call me or I just do my typical check in. And if I know they have more, issues than the average, then I'll probably give them a text and be like, "Hey, is everything okay?" Just something like that.
Have you lost a patient?
No, knock on. I ain't got no wood, but knock on
It's a
wood.
tree right there. Hold up.
Oh, close enough.
You broke.
That's
Yeah.
not supposed to be happening. But knock on wood, no.
That's to it. You got some of the best playlists I've heard.
Thank you, Goldie.
I really be putting your playlist on when I'm around old people or when I'm trying to set the vibe. You know how you how you go about picking music for your playlist?
Um, to be honest, it depends on my mood. Like, it depends on how I'm feeling. That's just as simple as that. Like, a lot of the times I've heard a lot of music, and you never really know how much music you listen to until you make playlists. So I'll pick my little title, put a little funny picture on there as a little sprinkle, a little razzle dazzle. Go through my library, add it. I'm like, dog, I got a lot of songs.
So,
And then I just start thinking about all the songs I've ever listened to and just slide them in. And man, you just never know how much music you listen to. That's crazy to me, but that's just how I do it. Like I go from my library. Once I had it base set, then I go straight into, oh yeah, I remember this song. Add it. Like,
like going off that, I have a couple questions.
mm-hmm.
Not a couple questions. I'm about to give you an event.
Okay.
Give me the song that goes with it for
Okay.
you. Graduating college.
Good Life by Kanye West.
First time you had sex.
First Time by IMX.
I ain't never heard that.
Marcus Houston, them, the little group of Marcus Houston.
Immature.
Huh?
Immature.
It's IMX.
Hey, I have never heard IMX.
Look.
What?
Yeah, IMX.
I never. All right, you teaching me something. You teaching me something. Okay. So boom. All right. First time. First time you had a hangover.
Hangover. Ooh, let me think. That's a good one, actually. First time I had a hangover. That's a good one, actually. Let me think. Let me think. Drunk AF by Deontay Hitchcock.
Okay. First love.
Hmm. Oh, this I can go two ways with that, but I'll say well, clearly, first love by a blunt.
First heartbreak.
Okay, first heartbreak. I Fall Apart by Post Malone.
Ooh, that song brought back memories. Uh,
Undergrad.
what? I was playing that song. I almost cried listening to it.
Man.
Made me. I started to hate that girl. Like,
Alright.
why is that the song though?
Cause shoot, a lot of times people be heartbroken. Like they gotta find themselves. They be falling apart.
So your first heartbreak was in college.
No. I had to think about it now.
All right. What was your first heartbreak?
I think it was like 17. It was Kitty. Don't do
Yeah, I
me.
know it was.
But yeah. That was my first one. It ended when I was like 17.
So do you typically break up with people, or do they typically break up with you?
Hmm. I ain't been that many. A lot of times,
Situationships count too.
oh, probably say like 65 them, 35 me.
So you the lover girl.
Yeah,
I understand. I understand. It's cool though. We support
happens
that.
to the best of us.
Okay. Can you tell me about what your family was like growing up?
Um, my mama talk just like me. Like my mama act just like me. So my mama was more so of the street type. You had certain rules you had to follow. You had to clean up by this, that, and the third. She worked at the prison, so a lot of times it was just me and my sister. Don't open that door unless I tell you to. So me and my sisters growing up, as far as my dad, I was a preacher's kid. He played the piano in the church. I would sleep on the bench as a kid. Like I didn't know what was going on at that time, but he would play his piano and I just sit there and look at him play the piano.
You was a preacher kid.
hmm
You know what they say about preachers kids?
I know what they say on social media.
Uh,
That's what I know.
right. But he recently passed, correct?
2016.
Mhm. So what was that like?
When it first happened, I was really like in disbelief. Cause literally, I remember my cousin was like, "Your daddy passed," and I was just like, "Who daddy?" Like I literally asked, I was like, "Who daddy?" Cause she ain't talking about mine. The fuck are you talking about? But it never really resonated, even after the funeral. Like I was just like, "Oh, this is weird. I ain't got nobody. I can't call my daddy. Like this is weird." And then, after that, the typical stages of grief, just sad for like a few years, really. Like it took a few years to, I ain't even gonna say get over, but it took a few years to kind of come to acceptance of it. So, but initially, I was just like, I don't know who y'all talking about because my dad ain't going nowhere.
And so off their response, I take it he was a good man.
Great.
Right. So processing that he was a good man, having
hmm
to move on. What's some what's some things you wish you would have told him or wish y'all could have did before he passed?
Really, like, we used to go fishing a lot. And moving up here to the city, a lot of men or just people in general don't go fishing. So really, I wish we could have went fishing. Um, cause I can bait a worm, but I'm not touching no cricket. He would touch the crickets. I'm not touching no crickets, so he would bait the crickets.
I feel like one is worse.
I love grabbing me a worm now, but a cricket be I don't like that. Just go back to because I lived in Murfreesboro for a little bit. Yeah,
You was a minor?
yeah.
Alright.
When I lived in Murfreesboro with my daddy, but then I ended up coming back to my mama's house, and that's why I talk the way I do. But go back on the boats and go see the city again. Just little teeny tiny stuff like that that you never really realized was important until after the
After
fact.
that. So I know I think the closest thing I had to was like my uncle dying. I was like,
Mm.
dang, I'm gonna miss you telling me what to do. Like I
Yeah,
don't even like being, but get your ass on or
yeah.
come here. You know you ain't supposed to be doing that. Tighten up. So speak, speaking about that, how would you coach somebody who's grieving the loss of their father? And what is it like actually having a great relationship with your father?
Um, I tell because looking back now, it took longer because I wasn't. I'm not gonna say I wasn't able to, but I didn't process my feelings as much. So first and foremost, I'll tell anybody, please go get therapy. Like, don't be ashamed of it. Go get therapy. They'll help you articulate, think, express yourself. It's a safe place. You'll be able to kind of understand how you feeling, why you feeling that way. Also to just stay motivated, find your purpose. Like if you want to go outside and touch some grass because you like being outside, do that. Like do whatever that makes you happy, as well as just keep it on. Really, keep on keeping on. What was the other question, called? Oh, the
What is
great
it like having a
father.
relationship with your father?
It was great. Like that was twin for sure. Like act just like everything was just like so. Like sometimes it's weird seeing people with their dads because it's just like this was my bestie. You know what I'm saying? But like it doesn't, hurt my feelings or nothing. But it's just like you never know how great of a person is until they're
So they go,
gone. So now that I reflect back and I have like a lot of letters and stuff from when I was a kid. He was a writer, which why I write a lot. He'll write little notes, be like, I'm proud of you, I love you. He wrote on my prom box, so I kept all that. He bought me a jewelry box with his words on it. So like I had a great relationship with my dad, and that's why I finally came to the point where it's just like he's here, like he's proud. So it just took me longer because I should have articulated and talked to somebody, but I didn't. So
is it kind of like a doctor paradigm where doctors can take care of everybody else, but they have trouble taking care of themselves? You could tell everybody else, hey, you need to work on this mentally to get over this, but you
yeah,
couldn't diagnose yourself.
yeah, that was more so what it was. Like I feel like at that time it was like you can't help the helper.
Mm-hmm.
Like how can you tell me when I'm the one telling you? But with time you learn humility and stuff like that. But it was just like y'all can't tell me nothing. Y'all can't tell me how
Yeah.
to grieve, all this type of different stuff. But it was just more so of like y'all can't help me because I'm the one helping y'all. Y'all can't help yourself. And that was obviously a bad thought process back then. But
You know, you hurt you just on the last shot. Like, come on, man.
yeah,
I've been having to deal with this
you know how that go.
because I had to deal with it with my grandma when my great grandma passed. We talking root to root. Like, bro, how y'all gonna tell me how I'm supposed to feel?
Yeah.
Like,
And then
handle
especially
y'all.
with like the duration of time too, you should be over it by now. Just little stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And people don't realize until it happened to them. Like you said, you don't never get over it.
Yeah.
People died years ago. I still have moments where I have to. I'm laughing. Then some reminds me of I'm like, damn, I can't call this come
Yeah.
up. This something he used to do, man. My boy ain't here no more. That's crazy.
Mhm.
Cause it took me longer to go back to twice than one of my homeboys died.
Mhm.
Like, dang, everything in here reminds me of you.
Yeah.
So, what's something that reminds you of your dad rather than fishing? Like you said that.
to be the wind. As crazy as it sounds, like he used to always say, wherever the wind blows is cool with me. So every time like it's getting too windy, I'm like, all right, calm it down, Greg. Like, all right, I get it, you here. Or like just a church in general, like I can just imagine him just standing there. And it's just like, oh, I really am a preacher's kid out here. That's crazy to me. So it just be like little subtle stuff, seeing people fishing with their parents, just seeing people fish in general, just little stuff like that.
Mm. Then it's only right we at this lake. I saw some
Yeah.
folks fishing out there. Great spot to choose.
Thanks. I try a little something. So
Okay. All right, so we're gonna get off there. Rest in peace to Mr. Greg.
I know that's right.
Mhm. So you know a lot about psychology. What are some of your favorite subjects in psychology?
Mm, really, for the most part, like I like to focus on like the different, like I said, what makes people who they are, like they biopsychosocial, which is like the biological, of course, genetics, psycho, like obviously the psyche and stuff like that, and the social, like the environmental aspects that make them who they are. So like that's really what I've been kind of focusing on lately. Like I understand you going through this, that, and the third, but we gotta focus on like, do you have any mental health disorders in your family? Stuff like that, or like what are you going through right now to, make you this triggered? Just stuff like that. I think that's really my thing right now, my speed, I would say.
Okay. So nature versus nurture.
Mm.
What do you feel like has the biggest impact on somebody?
Oh, we done had that.
Hey,
I must say nurture.
hmm. Elaborate. You can't just leave it at that. You gotta elaborate on that one.
Like, to be honest, it just really depends on how, not how you're brought up, but like just the level of care. Like, everybody grows up, obviously, it's biological, it's time.
Mhm.
But, like, for instance, Jimmy wasn't raised on love, but John was. Like they handle situations differently. And so one goes out to the streets or something, and the other one's trying to tell something else what to do, and just different ways of life. So it really just depends on how they're really growing up. Because like one could be raised off love, one could be raised off survival,
Mhm.
and that impacts their life decisions and how they think and everything that goes with it.
Okay. What's another topic on it? What about split personalities? Because going back, I'm looking at the news today, social media, they talking about the YNW Millie case,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe he has split personalities.
Yes, well,
What do you think about those? Like,
I mean, that's real,
mm,
but I hope people don't, or the culture don't make it more prevalent than what it might be. Like, it's a real thing, believe me. Like, people can go from to like quick, but hopefully, like TikTok, social media in general, they typically put a few symptoms on there. Okay, boom, you got PTSD. Boom, you got split personalities. Boom, you got schizophrenia. Like, instead of actually having the knowledge to actually, diagnose or, stuff like that. So, I mean, it's a real thing. It's just, I hope it don't be popularized into
okay.
being something that it's not.
Okay. But you mentioned PTSD, and that's one of the least diagnosed things in the black community. When I feel like a
Mm.
lot of black people have PTSD,
That's true. Or ADHD, for sure.
and even though ADHD is kind of demonized now, it's just
Hmm.
like, hey, what is it? What's the difference between ADHD and ADD?
Nothing. It's the same thing. Just with time, they changed the name of it.
Really?
Hmm.
So you teach me so. I don't be reading the journals no more. I'll be out the loop. What's the topic in psychology you feel like more people should know about?
Like we said, PTSD. Typically, of course, like Gierbo, we all know like the stereotypical, like you get hit by a car, you jump and flinch and this, that, and the third. But what I've come to learn is PTSD comes from any form of trauma. Anything that catches you off guard, anything that hurts your feelings, that's trauma. So with PTSD, that can be caused by any form of trauma. For example, like sexual harassment, sexual assault, bullying as a kid, just a bunch of different things, and it's not always like physical. Of course, car wrecks are one, but like you never know how much it really affects you, and you never think you'll have PTSD until you actually go to a clinician, and it's like, dang, like
Right.
I have like some symptoms, like
You think a lot of people have emotional PTSD when it comes to relationships? Because I'm hearing you talking, I'm just thinking about how certain people react in certain situations, not because of who the person is,
mm,
but because this one guy 5 years ago did this. So now um
yeah,
they don't use the word traumatized, but it kind of sounds like, hey, you traumatized from it.
yeah. I emotional trauma in general, because I mean, like we said, trauma is something that catches you off guard. So if somebody does something to you that you don't expect, that's trauma. Um, if you aren't able to vocalize it or just heal from it, if you want to put it in simple terms, just heal, understand why it happened, come to terms with it, you gonna forever live with it. Like
Mhm.
it's not even just with you, it's gonna be with him 10 years from now, him 30 years. Like unless you heal and learn why that happened 5 years ago, like you said in this scenario, it's gonna keep going, and it's gonna be the same cycle until you actually stop it and understand why that happened, come to terms with it, understand your perspective on it, and just move on from it.
Well,
And even if you don't necessarily move on from it, like just come to a point of acceptance. I would say that.
what's some good coping mechanisms in PTSD? Well, not just PTSD. What are some good coping mechanisms for people that's going through anything? Like, what's a general synopsis of, all right, if you're coping with something, you should do this?
Just anything that's positive for the most part. Like in my case, for example, I like going outside, touching grass. Like I said, going to the gym is a good coping mechanism. Journaling, writing, just watching scenic views, talking to people actually that you can actually trust is a good coping skill. Um, it's just the possibilities really are endless. Like anything that's really positive, swimming, fishing, just anything, walking. I'm doing everything physical, but drawing, just anything, coloring, any of that. So,
Alright, yeah. I only have a few more questions for you.
okay.
What are some red flags in people you can do, friendships or relationships with her, when you, all right, that person did this, nope, I'm out of here.
Narcissism, that's my main thing. Like, if, or lack of accountability, that'll be better for me. If we can't sit down and have no conversation and be like, okay, I feel like this, you feel like this, either we gonna part ways or we gonna come to a mutual agreement that we're not doing this, whether it's a lover or a friend, I can't be around it because we too old. Like, we just too old. Lack of accountability is a big one for me. Relationships, narcissism, and deflecting. If I'm trying to communicate, okay, I don't like this, and you spin around, you feeling this way because da 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 da, like pinpointed it on you, can't do it. Mm-mm. It's just a no for me, a hard no.
All right. What's some red flags that you exhibit yourself?
I ain't gonna hold you. I shut down. Like if I feel like it's not getting nowhere, if it's pointless to me, or like at this point we not getting making no progress, you not listening, I'm done talking to you. Like I might walk away like mid conversation. Like, and I'm done talking. When I say I'm done talking, we never bringing it up again. Like,
Tombstone the conversation.
I'm kind of stubborn, so it's a break on me, I guess. But I'm never gonna speak on it again. You talking to a brick wall, so that's definitely my red flag. So,
Hmm. All right. What are some books you recommend people to read to help them grow psychologically, or just in general, you feel like they should read?
um, it's this book called Positive Psychology. Even though it's like I wouldn't say like research based book, but it is basically. It'll help you understand like positive thinking. It's like a little blue book. It's like real little. I think it's like $8 at Barnes and Noble, but it was a little cute little blue book, and it basically helps you, think through problems, understand why, you feel that way, and turning a negative into a positive. So that's my favorite right now.
That's the only one.
Yeah, off the top of my head, yeah.
Okay. So, in 10 years, how do you see your career?
What is it, 2023?
2033. Well,
Okay.
2034. We're going to fast forward the year over already.
I'm going to have my LCSW, possibly have my own practice. Probably, well, God willing, I'll be married. Might have a family, give or take. Um, might be out of state, might not. That's I'll cross that bridge when I get there, but for sure I'm gonna have my LCSW. So
Okay.
doctorate might, it just depends. But
You mentioned kids, so I wasn't going to ask this, but you mentioned kids, so you brought it up. What is your biggest fear in having a kid?
to be honest, like the world in general, like seeing how people treat as adults and in the school systems, like even with kids, like don't mistreat my baby. Like please don't mistreat my baby. So that's my main thing. Like people are evil or ugly inside. So
Mm-hmm.
I oh child, I ain't got not a lick of sense when it comes to nothing like that. So I'd rather not even put myself in that predicament.
All right, my last question for you. Take away the schooling,
Mhm.
take away the trauma, take away everything.
Mhm.
Who's Anastasia? Abby.
Abby the Don. But 23.9 because my birthday next month. And but I'll say just a real down to earth, understanding person. Like it ain't nothing I can't talk through. I might be mad for a while, but I mean, genuinely, respectfully, like if you come to me and want to have a conversation, I'm probably gonna talk back. Um, just really patient, like a girl who really evolved from being this angry person to, you know, a woman,
Mm.
basically, a girl to a woman. So
Okay, from a girl to a woman. I would like to personally thank you for coming out
thank
here.
you.
It was hot earlier, done cooled down, thank God.
Cause the wind blowing.
Shout out to Mr. Greg.
Thank you, then.
Hey, but you got anything you want to say to the people before we leave?
Y'all can tell me happy birthday next month. My birthday August 25th.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it, y'all.
Yeah. And go to therapy.
And go to therapy for real. Heal them traumas.
All right.
You're welcome.
That's another episode of Beachside Talks, and we out.